sing along to the words. So I think Glastonbury really is just a microcosm of what's going on all around the world.
I'm just going to interrupt you for one moment because we're getting confirmation from the LA coroner that we've been waiting for this evening that Michael Jackson has died. That on the AFP Newswire, the LA coroner reporting that Michael Jackson has died. Of course, we've had reports throughout the evening from various sources, but now official confirmation from the LA coroner in the United States. 50-year-old pop star and icon Michael Jackson has died. Well, Steve Hargrave is talking to us from Glastonbury. You're talking about the reaction there. Glastonbury seemed very much as a young festival and more current music perhaps than Michael Jackson, but I imagine still many fans there of his music. As I was saying, it's transcended the ages really. We've been getting emails in from people who've got children as young as 8 who listen to Michael Jackson's music.
Oh, totally and utterly, and I think that was the thing we were reminded of when he did the announcement of the new gigs, was the sheer range of ages that were there, both kids who were far too young to remember Michael Jackson in what was his pop heyday of the early 80s towards 1988-89 when he did the Bad material. They wouldn't remember that, they weren't around then, and yet here they are.
Okay, Steve, we're just going to leave you there for the moment. We're going to join our colleagues over in Fox News in the States. They're talking to the Reverend Al Sharpton, the civil rights campaigner and close friend of Michael Jackson.
I remember introducing him at James Brown's funeral. James Brown was like a father to me and was Michael's idol. And I'll never forget him calling me, saying he wanted to view James's body in the middle of the night. And I arranged for him to go to the funeral home in Augusta, view his body, and convinced him to stay. And he spoke at the last funeral of James Brown, his idol, that we often talked about. In fact, my favorite picture I kept was way before the Victory Tour with Michael, James Brown, Janet, and I. We all were much younger then, in California about 1980. And we went back about 35 years. We marched together, we fought together, I watched him do shows. I headed community affairs for his Victory Tour. I watched him sell stadiums out. Michael Jackson made culture accept a person of color way before Tiger Woods, way before Oprah Winfrey, way before Barack Obama. Michael did with music what they let it did in sports and in politics and in television. And no controversy will erase the historic impact. He learned how to sing and dance past unfair criticism. He learned how to sing and dance and be creative against his worst critics. He learned how to create even beyond his own shortcomings. He knew he had shortcomings, but he knew how to build his strength. And he used his strength to help people around the world. We Are the World would not have happened without Michael Jackson. From We Are the World came Live Aid and other things. Michael Jackson was a trailblazer. To say an icon would only give these young people in Harlem a fraction of what he was. He was a historic figure that people will measure music and the industry by. He sold more single products than any other artist, and no one could drag him down for that. I remember he once said to me, can you believe after his trial, he said to me, they actually were showing on television the cell they wanted to put me in. I said, well, they didn't crown you the king and they can't take the crown off your head. Finally, I hope Michael will get the respect he was due. If he had shortcomings, they didn't equal his strengths. And if he brought days that we all hoped were days that would never come again, they didn't measure up to the many days. There are more days that he gave us of joy and pleasure. And he never forgot coming back to the Apollo and coming back to the people. I do not know what the family's intentions are yet. I certainly will be in touch. But whatever their intentions, I remember when we suddenly, without warning, lost James Brown. I brought him back to the Apollo. I don't know if his family will send Michael back, but we will memorialize him here, and I will be wherever he is to thank Michael Jackson for never forgetting us. The fans that were with him from Gary, Indiana, that knew him before the world knew him. And when the world learned of him, he never let the world forget us. He never stopped paying tribute to Jackie Wilson and Dinah Ross and James Brown and the people that came out of the Apollo. He never stopped. And we should never stop talking about Michael Jackson.
The Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights campaigner and close friend of Michael Jackson, giving his reaction at UCLA Hospital in Los Angeles. He called Michael Jackson a trailblazer and an historic figure.